Assalamu alaikum student. Today's lecture is about combination logic design, and in this lecture I will introduce you the basic building blocks of the combination circuits, which are known as the logic gates, and then we will study that how we can design a combination circuit. So let's start with this example. In last lecture, we have seen the advantages of using digital circuit over microprocessor based system. And the digital circuit shown in this slide is basically your combination circuit. So the combination circuit is the digital circuit whose output depends on the present combination of the inputs values. So this CMOS transistor is the most popular transistor IC, and you will study in detail about the CMOS transistor in VLSI design course. Let's have some basic introduction about the CMOS transistor. In figure A you can see this is a cross-sectional view of the NMOS transistor, where it has source, gate and drain terminal. So how it works, that whenever you apply a positive voltage over the gate, it will attract this electron towards the gate, and as a result a channel will be created between source and drain. And so because of this channel, now the transistor will conduct. So So the working principle of the NMOS transistor is that when you apply a 1 at the gate, it will conduct, and when you apply a 0 at the gate, it will not conduct. Similarly, for a PMOS transistor, it works in an opposite way. So in order to conduct a PMOS transistor, you have to apply a 0 at the gate. So when you apply a 0 at the gate, PMOS transistor will conduct, and when you apply a 1 at the gate, PMOS transistor will not conduct. Okay, so in order to construct a, a building, we need right building blocks, right? Similarly, for building complex digital circuits, logic gates are better option than the transistor, right? So in the coming slide, we will see that by using this transistor, how we can construct these logic gates. We'll see that how we can construct a NOT gate, OR gate, or an AND gate. Okay, so on your screen you can see that uh, we have a NOT gate, an OR gate, and then we have an AND gate. So let's see that if we want to implement these gates with the transistor, how we can do it. So this one is a transistor level implementation of a NOT gate. Basically, we are using the CMOS transistor logic for implementing this NOT gate. So how it works that uh, let's suppose if I want to an input as a 0. So how it works that because of this 0, this will not conduct, and this PMOS will conduct, and as a result at F you will receive a 1, right? Similarly, if you apply 1, then PMOS will not conduct and NMOS will conduct, and you will receive a 0. So basically this is your NOT gate. Now let's have a look at an OR gate. For an OR gate, you can see that if I apply a 0 0 combination, so with 0 0 combination, obviously this X and Y will not conduct, but this this NMOS will not conduct, but PMOS will conduct. As a result, if this PMOS is also closed and this PMOS switch is also closed, you will receive a 0 over here. So for 0 0 you are receiving a 0. Now let's take an example of using this 0 1. So if X is 0 and Y is 1, it will create a channel and you will receive 1 over here through this transistor, right? So in this way, for for 0 1 combination, now this NMOS transistor will conduct and you will receive a 1. So for 0 1 combination you will receive 1 as an output. And now similarly take an example of this AND gate. In this AND gate, if X and Y both are 0 0, then it means that this NMOS will not conduct and this NMOS will also not conduct. So for this example, this X and Y are closed. As a result, you will receive 0 over here, right? So this PMOS will conduct and this PMOS with X input will also conduct and you will receive 0. And you will only get 1 if both NMOS transistor are closed, right? So if these two transistor will conduct, then only then you will receive a 1 over it. So if we apply 1 and 1, then that means that this NMOS will also conduct, this NMOS will also conduct. As a result, you will receive 1 over it, right?
Let's study this combination logic design process. Um, we can divide the combination logic design process into three steps. Number one is the capturing the function. You can capture the function either through the truth table or from the equation. And if you have captured the function through the truth table, then in step 2 you have to convert into the equation. But if you have already captured a function in the form of equation, then step 2 is not required. And then in the step number 3, you have to implement it as a gate based circuit. So when you have uh, simplified your equation, then after simplifying the equations, you will implement the circuit by using different gates. Okay, so let's study this example. In this example, you have to detect three ones. So you have to detect three consecutive ones in an 8-bit input, and your 8-bit input is basically A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So what you have to do is that if there are three consecutive ones in an input, like in this combination, then it should output 1, or maybe the three consecutive ones should be like this, or it could be in any other combination. So whenever three consecutive ones are detected, it should output a 1, and if it's not detected, then it should output 0. So now you have two ways for capturing this function. One is to create a truth table for this problem. Now we have 8 inputs, then it means that the truth table would have 256 rows, which is too big, and it will be very difficult to write an equation from a truth table of 256 rows, and then so 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 truth table might not be a feasible option of capturing the function. Other way is that you can write an equation for this function. Now in order to detect a consecutive one, either ABC should be 1, or BCD should be 1, or CDE should be 1, DEF should be 1, or EFG should be 1, or FGH should be 1. So you can see that writing an equation and is an easier method rather than constructing a truth table, and from there from the truth table then convert it into the equation would be a difficult task. So the step 2 is the convert to the equation, which is already done in step 1, and the step 3 is to implement this equation by using a gate based circuit. So here you can see that this circuit is basically um, capturing the problem of detecting 3 consecutive ones. You can use few other gates as well, like a NAND gate, NOR gate, XOR gate, or XNOR gate. So NAND gate is basically an opposite of AND, and you can say it as a NOT AND. NOR is opposite of OR, is not OR. XOR basically it's a parity checker. So if an odd number of ones are present, it will give you one as the output. So for a two input XOR gate, if only one input is one, it will give you an output as one. And XNOR is basically an opposite of XOR, or you can say an equality checker as well. So if the both inputs are same, whether it's 0 or it's 1, it will give you an output 1. On the right side of the screen, you can see the circuit of NAND and NOR. So it's basically a transistor-based implementation of a NAND gate and a NOR gate. And NAND gate are preferable in place of the AND gate, because uh, NMOS conducts zeros well, and PMOS conducts ones well. So for getting a strong 0 and strong 1 at the output, we will prefer NAND and NOR over. You can implement any Boolean function by using NAND gate. So for example, if I want to implement a NOT gate, so a NOT gate can be implemented by a NAND gate if both inputs are tied together. Similarly, AND gate can be implemented by a NAND gate by putting an inverter at the output of the NAND gate. And if you want to implement an OR gate with the NAND gate, then you have to apply an inverter at both inputs of the two input NAND gate. So if inverters are present on the both inputs of the NAND gates, then
Decoders and multiplexer are also commonly used as digital circuit building blocks. So let's start with the decoder first. The decoder converts input binary number to one high output. So for example, a two input decoder, which is shown in the figure, would have 2 raised to power 2 is equal to 4 outputs. So if two inputs I1 and I0 are 0 0, then D0 would be 1 and the remaining output would be 0. Similarly, if I1 I0 combination is 1 0, then D2 would be 1 and the remaining output would be 0. So the internal design of a decoder is pretty straightforward. So consider if a 2 cross 4 decoder. So in this circuit you can see that a 2 cross 4 decoder has been constructed by using 4 AND gates. So and this circuit shows you that whenever the combination I0 and I1, let's suppose if it's 0 0, and then you can see that the input of the decoder having an output D0 are both are 1, so basically you can get output 1 at D0. You can also construct the decoder with an enable input. So if a decoder has an enable input, then it means that if the enable is 1, then you can get the output from the decoder. So if the enable signal is 0, then you will get 0 at all the 4 outputs of the 2 to 4 decoder. Multiplexer is another popular combination building block, and it routes one of its n data input to its one output based on the binary value of the select input. So बेसिकली जो भी आपकी सिलेक्ट इनपुट के ऊपर कम्बिनेशन होगा उसके अकॉर्डिंगली जो आपकी जो इनपुट है वो आपके आउटपुट के साथ जो है वो कनेक्ट हो जाएगी. सो फॉर एग्जांपल इफ़ द बाइनरी for 4 input marks, if the select input combination is 0 0, then it means that input 0 will be connected to D. So it's just like a rail yard switch. So if the combination at control lever is 0 0, then whichever train is coming on I0 will pass through this point, and if it's 1 1, then in that case this train will pass through the track at position D. So this is an example of internal configuration of 2 cross 1 mux. Here you can see that if I apply 0 at the select line, then I0 will be connected to the output D, and if it's 1, then I1 will be connected to the output D. So similarly for 4 cross 1 mux, if the select lines are 0 0, then in that case I0 will be connected to D, and similarly if the S0 and S1 are, let's suppose if it's 1 1, then I3 will be connected to D. So taken an example of multiplexer application. In this application, a city mayor can set 4 switches up or down, and by setting it up or down, basically that represent his or her vote on each of the 4 proposals numbered 0 1 2 and 3. So हम इसको ऐसे कह सकते हैं कि मेयर के पास 4 proposals एट अ टाइम जो हैं वो प्रेजेंट होते हैं, और उसके ऊपर मेयर जो है वो अपना स्विच की मदद से जो है वो अप्रूव या डिसअप्रूव, या हम इसको ऐसे कह सकते हैं उनके फेवर या उसके अगेंस्ट में वोट कास्ट कर सकता है. बट इस एग्जांपल के पीछे सिनेरियो ये है कि अगर इसको हम अगर मेयर के पास डायरेक्टली अपना जो वोट है उसको लाइट के ऊपर डिस्प्ले करने का राइट हो, तो उसमें जो ऑडियंस होती हैं वो उसके ऊपर जो था वो शोर मचा देती होती थी. तो उसको उन्होंने एडजस्ट करने के लिए एक ऐसा सिस्टम डेवलप किया बाय यूजिंग अ मल्टीप्लेक्सर, कि जहाँ पे मेयर जो है वो अपने चारों प्रपोजल के ऊपर अपना वोट कास्ट करके चला जाता है, और उसके बाद जो मैनेजर जो है वो जब उसको मुनासिब वक्त रखता है तो वो जो भी सिलेक्ट लाइंस के ऊपर कम्बिनेशन दे के उसके अकॉर्डिंगली जो उसका जो वोट है वो ग्रीन या रेड लाइट की फॉर्म में जो है वो रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं. सो इफ़ द आउटपुट इज़ 0, then red light will be turned on, and if the output is 1, then the green light will be on. So by using the manager switch, so he can display the mayor's vote for the proposal number 0. If it's 0 0, then his vote for the proposal number 0 will be displayed on the light, and if it's, let's suppose, 1 0, then its vote for the proposal number 2, which is connected to the I2, will be displayed on the on the main light. You can also tie together multiple multiplexers. So for example, 2 4-bit inputs A and B. So for 4-bit 2 cross 1 mux, just 4 2 cross 1 muxes sharing a select line can select between A or B. So in this problem you can see that we have 4 multiplexer and they have a common select line. So if I want to select a 4-bit A input, then the S0 should be 0, and if I want to select a 4-bit input B, then S0 should be 1. This is another application of a multiplexer. In this example is basically um, um, your car screen display function. So from the ECU, it can display four different parameters of ECU on the display screen. And these four parameters are temperature, average miles per gallon, instantaneous MPG, and miles remaining. And each input is basically 8-bit wide. So by using a slide switch, uh, or by using a button, um, and the car driver can see these four different parameters. So if the combination at xy is 0 0, then temperature will be displayed, and if it's 0 1, then average miles per gallon will be displayed. Okay.